of the United States.
Fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war. These are opening stages of what will be a broad and concerted campaign.
We interviewed Buck Ness. He served 2 tours in Iraq and 1 tour in Afghanistan. He has been in the military 17 years and is still in the National Guard. He gave us a new look of the war with his unique experiences and allowed us to understand more of what it was like to be in the war. The war in Iraq began when the U.S. launched Operation Iraqi Freedom on March 20, 2003, with the goals of removing Saddam Hussein from power and disarming Iraq of nuclear weapons. On May 1, 2003, major combat operations in Iraq are ended.
Busy, mostly scared to go in, but excited with the other soldiers I was with.
Like before you were going?
Before and when we got there.
Okay.
And then when they call it boots on ground, there's a little different aspect because we were there and we were on their territory per se, so it was pretty nerve-wracking, but exciting at the same time.
After the first part of Iraqi freedom was complete, the goals changed to helping form a new Iraq, like a new government and developing their economy. However, challenges emerged and sectarian violence grew in the country.
For Iraq we were there for support. We supported the other units that went out, walked the towns, walked the streets, talked to the people. We were there to support them. We supported them by security, supplies, and stuff like that. No, it wasn't.
Obviously, they spoke English.
Most of them knew what you were talking about, but then when you went further outside the bigger cities, well, the bigger villages per se, it got harder to talk with different villages, different tribes. That's when we got issued an interpreter, a guy who talked Iraq and a little bit of American. And then sometimes you couldn't trust them because you didn't know what they were saying and what you were trying to tell them. That's why sometimes when they would talk to them, you'd have to watch their body motions or their facial expressions to see, you'd ask what's their mom's name and see their expression. And then you tell them to ask something different. If their facial expression or body motion was different, then you know something was wrong. It's just trying to read the human
So it's pretty difficult to do that.
Yeah. Sometimes it was really quiet, really relaxed, and sometimes it was really upbeat. When we'd hear the motor sirens or different sirens for getting attacked, we had to go different places and take head count and stuff. Sometimes it'd be really relaxed. And then like during Ramadan and different holidays that they had, you can hear them outside in their villages like partying really loud and stuff like that. So you'd be on nervous, your nerves would be like ready to go, and you could just hear them out there sometimes. Then when you did convoys through the cities during Ramadan or something like that, then they're more it's more like a 4th of July or Mardi Gras for them sometimes, because they're out in the streets partying and all that.
So was it boring or just not relaxed most of the time?
No, it was the only relaxed time you had is when you got a week to go home or a week to take a vacation somewhere. Then you got to go through Kuwait, and that was relaxed. That was only relaxed.
The weather and temperatures in Iraq are hard to live under. Average temperatures range from 120 degrees in August and below freezing in January. In order to avoid the heat, soldiers leave at dawn for cooler temperatures because of their heavy equipment.
The weather was really, really strange. Really hot, then cold. It wasn't cold because it was like 68 degrees at nighttime, but being from 130 straight down to 67 like within half an hour, it was cold. And we were in Iraq on our 8th month. It never snowed there for 18 years, and we were there on the 8th month and it snowed.
Wow.
First time in 18 years it snowed. We were there. So that was after it snowed, then the insurgents or whatever, they got really rowdy and stuff because they thought we brought evil, the snow. So that was an interesting day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of accidents like on the base itself, people not driving because it's snowing off the road, and it was a funny day. No, because they broke you into it in stages, kind of. Because you get to Kuwait and then you do like a week training there with the weather. But they like the first day you're just out walking. Second day you do PT, go for a run, and then they just build you up gradually from there.
Kind of like altitude training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And then when we got to Iraq, it was just like. Actually, Kuwait was hotter than Iraq was, so we got pretty adapted fast. Because we did our training in Georgia, and it was this humid and sweaty. And then we got there, we're like, oh, get it dry out. No, you still sweated.
President Bush attempted to lower the escalation of violence with a surge of troops. These included 5 Army Brigade combat teams, a Marine Expeditionary Unit, and 2 Marine battalions. Along with the surge, counterinsurgency approaches were put in, like building up the government, population security, and giving power to the Iraqi security forces. The conditions improved significantly after this was put into effect.
It affected me. It made me more alert, more sensitive to, or more calm to stressful situations.
Does that feel like an instinct? Like, because of the situation, your body was more calm?
Yeah, the first few times we had conflict, we were just like too nervous and just wanted to just go. And then after that, you just calm down. Okay, well, this person got blown up or whatever, this person got shot. You just knew what to do calmly, instead of all nervous, frantic, and shaking and trying to call something in and you don't know what you're doing. So.
Over the course of the Iraq War, there has been 4,776 U.S. and coalition casualties. In 2004 to 2007, there were around 3,459, showing the most violent period of the war.
Nothing that, not right off the bat, because you're just going, and you just gotta keep going and stuff. You can't stop, and you just gotta pick them up and move out of the certain like danger zone per se. So. The first time in Iraq there was, and then there's a lot of deaths and stuff like that. And then the second time there wasn't that many, because most insurgents went other places. But like downtown Baghdad, there's always stuff going on there. So not in the outer villages like there used to be the first one, but the second time over, it was way different.
The tour length for a soldier is 15 months. Depending on the conditions of the war, the tour length can be cut down. Like in 2008, President Bush cut the length down to 12 months because of good progress.
Yes, it was pretty difficult because I had my son and then my daughter was not born yet, so it was like, how they doing all the time per se, something like that. So it was difficult.
So you had parental worries and then war worries.
Yeah. But then I had my friends to talk to or something like that, and they be able to call sometimes and not. Sometimes you call them like 2, 3, or like 6 in the morning, and your family's all cranky. Why are you waking me up? What the hell? I'm trying to call you, say hi and stuff. You're all cranky. You still get that from your family or whatever sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Nearly 300,000 Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, about 20%, suffer from some form of PTSD. PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, can be caused by a traumatic event during their time overseas. Symptoms can be flashbacks, nightmares, distress, and even suicidal thoughts.
Oh yeah. We got back and we went to like Fort Lewis. We had to stay there 2 weeks to like debrief, take classes, and like suicide prevention, spouse abuse, and all this, just all kinds of classes, and phone numbers to call to help you if you have any problems, and people to call, people to come over and talk to you and stuff like that. So that helped a lot of people, because all those classes, and you had people to talk to there, and what should I do if this happens and stuff. Then they had a day with you and your family. You could talk to a counselor kind of,
So
and
they
get
prepared
adapted
you-
back in.
They prepared you for.
Yeah, back to go back and stuff. Nervous and waking up. Wanting to drive, wanting to go somewhere, wanting to do something. Clean a weapon I didn't have, and sometimes I'll be driving, be reaching for something that's not there, and I get really scared. And then I figure out where I'm at. And then like driving, and those car strips across the road that they count cars. Like I'd be scared to go over those, stuff like that. Almost everybody that comes back has some form of PTSD.
Well, like the worst case.
The worst case is I know 2 people who committed suicide that I got deployed with.
Do they seek help?
I don't know. I'm not sure what they did, but 2 of them committed suicide. So.
It is important to seek help right away, because treatments help you face the issues that you may have. Treatment lets you regain control of your emotions. Trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy lets you gradually face the issues that are holding you back. Other than therapy, there are medications that you can take to relieve depression and anxiety.
Being a normal soldier and not a high-ranking officer, Buck gave us a different perspective of the war, a more true look that civilians do not get to see on TV. He is one of the many soldiers that has risked his life in a foreign country. We invaded Iraq in 2003, it's 2011, and we are still there. When asked if victory had been achieved, Buck answered with a simple no.